How can a young man keep his way pure? By guarding it according to your word. Psalm 119:9. One translation of this scripture says, by cleansing it according to your word. I wonder, when was the last time that the Bible confronted you? When was the last time you let its words convict you to the core? The words of Jesus found in the New Testament are unashamedly difficult to swallow at times. He commands us to not just love our neighbour, but also to love our enemy, to forgive before someone's even said sorry, and even if we only have 2 cloaks, he calls for us to give one away in generosity. I'm reminded of the argument of C.S. Lewis, you probably know it well, where he says that the words of Jesus were so radical that you either have to regard him as Lord or as lunatic. The one thing that he can never be is just simply a good man. And the truth is that the Bible does the same. It can't just be one reference point in some sea of morality. It kind of causes us to draw a line in the sand, and we have to reorientate everything about our lives. Our hopes and dreams and passions and ideas have to be reorientated around its words. But despite this, we too often become familiar with the Bible. We find it so easy to reduce some of the harder parts down to hyperbole, and so we don't have to live a self-examined life too often. But you see, Jesus arrived into a culture and he challenged the very cornerstones upon which it was built. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, but his new standard was radical generosity, immediate forgiveness and unconditional love. 2,000 years later, Jesus' teaching should hit us just as hard. I saw a profound and raw prayer on Facebook recently that beautifully demonstrates this point, and I want to read it to you. I desire about 64% of Jesus. That is about all of him and his ways that I can handle. I really mean this. For every 6 things of Jesus' stuff I like, there are about 4 that I'm totally willing to ignore or discredit. I do it every day. I look several things in the eye and say nope. I settle for around a D-. Take Matthew 25 for example. What a disaster. Jesus so deeply identifies himself with the prisoner and the hungry and the stranger and the naked and the poor. He says, when you consider them and their plight, imagine that it's actually me you are serving. Let me tell you something, Jesus. I do not want to see your face in the faces of these complicated, hurting, needy people. When I see a prisoner, I want to see criminal. When I see homeless, I want to see addict. When I see a refugee, I want to see threat or at least financial drain. What I do not and cannot see is your sweet face. Why couldn't you identify yourself with more stable people, Jesus? We like to see your faces in our children and our best friends. We like you in our pretty churches and our gated neighbourhoods, but we do not want to see your face in the faces of the poor. You do realise what this sort of holy identification will require of us, right? So is the Bible messing with you? Is it shaking up your paradigms? Is it forcing you to pray prayers like this, frustrated prayers? Because you see, the Bible, when it's really listened to, it costs us our coziness. It makes us uncomfortable. How can a man stay pure? He allows the scripture to cleanse his way. We allow these radical, topsy-turvy, crazy teachings of Jesus to turn our world upside down. This is big and it's scary and it is life-changing and it is challenging. But you know what the really cool and beautiful thing is that Jesus, he comes along and he turns us upside down, but then he leans in close and he whispers, let's do this together. Because you see, in the words of the Bible, we find the challenge, but we also encounter the grace that we need to make the change. The Word will first reveal our sin, and then it will cleanse our way as we lean into its abundance of gracious exhortations and promises. Today, as you read the Bible, pay attention to the areas of your life that it may want to unsettle. And as you do, may you encounter the power of a God who is totally committed to walking the journey with you.